All right, welcome to the Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting of August 16th. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from July 19th?
I'll make the second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it, thank you. Any privilege of the floor?
I have no idea what it is.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Lauren Sharp. I'm a junior planner with the Department of Planning and Development. I just wanted to update the PED committee on an upcoming event. So back in 2022, the county updated their farmland protection plan, and since then, our department's been working on implementing some of the recommendations of that plan. One of the recommendations was to educate elected officials about agriculture with the purpose of leading to good policies and initiatives that impact agriculture. Our department, along with the County of Chautauqua Industrial Development Agency, Cornell Cooperative Extension of Chautauqua County, will be hosting a Chautauqua County Field to Manufacturing Tour in September. All of the county legislators should have received an invite in their mailboxes. Our invitee list also includes the county executive, Assemblyman Goodell, Senator Borrello, Congressman Langworthy, the supervisors and mayors, where our stops are anticipated, as well as the IDA's board, Extensions Board, the County Agriculture and Farmland Protection Board, and Chautauqua County Farm Bureau Board of Directors. We're planning for an informative experience, and we hope that you're able to join us. We are requesting that you RSVP because we are providing transportation with a pickup at the north end of the county.
And tell us the date.
It's in your invite.
September 9th.
19th. They opened theirs.
Okay. Okay. Just thought the public might like that.
Zing.
Are
Are you about done?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Better open mine.
Okay, our first proposed resolution, amend the 2023 budget for Chautauqua Lake Collaborative Lake Management Services using funding from the 2% occupancy tax program reserve. Floor is yours, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dave McCoy. I'm the Chautauqua County Watershed Coordinator, and I work within the Office of Planning and Development. This resolution is, it helps fill a need. You know, annually, there's about $3 million spent on Chautauqua Lake. County typically funds its contribution, which is significantly less than that, through the Alliance. With the increase in short-term rentals and the fabulous weather that we've been having in the fall of the last few years, lake use has gone way up. And of course, our revenues have gone up as a result of that increased usability of the lake. There is a notable deficiency in shoreline maintenance and weed harvesting during the late season because the Chautauqua Lake Association and the other folks who help to maintain the lake lose a lot of their labor, and they pull in, and we simply don't offer those services, and people are not always happy about that. So this resolution brings a little bit more money to lake maintenance for the month of September.
Any questions?
Good idea.
Just the month of September?
To the end of the month of September.
The delegation from Jamestown, is there any questions over there?
There's just some conference over here.
Yeah, I see you too.
Just open your invitation and leave us alone.
So this is just through the end of September?
That's right.
This is great.
Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. McCoy.
Okay.
I understand we're pulling the resolution number 2, authorize the use of the Lake Erie Management Commission capital project, H8020.37011 funds for removal of the steel piles for the Dunkirk Harbor. I was informed before the meeting that we're just pulling that resolution. It's not that it's not going to be funded, but it's.
Actually, no. The reason we're pulling a resolution is because we have new people with different ideas, and our our new budget director could perhaps shed a little bit of light on why we're doing this.
Yes, I can. So the reason that this resolution is being withdrawn is actually because it doesn't require the movement of any money. It doesn't require the approval of a project. The project is approved by the LEMC that's already established, and the funds are already there. So essentially, it's not a necessary resolution.
Okay.
So next year, we're going to be coming to, or next month, we're going to be coming to you all with a different resolution, just authorizing the county executive to enter into any contracts associated with projects that are tied to these monies.
Okay.
But that's really all that will be necessary.
Okay, so we're basically staying out of it.
Yes.
That's good.
I like that.
Yeah, okay.
So efficiency,
Yes, I like it.
both of that.
Okay. All right,
Good.
number 3, the proposed resolution, amend the 2023 budget to implement the Chattacoin River Stream Bank stabilization at the Deming Drive using funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, better known as ARPA. Do you have guests, Mr. McCoy?
I do. I thought I had another one, but he
Special guest.
vanished. I don't know where he went.
You're welcome to sit.
Anticipated. You know, a few years ago, we had a situation with Jamestown Container and what we call the Chattacoin River, where, hey, Brian, come on down. Where it was erosion from that weir was threatening one of a local employer's business.
Could I interrupt you for just a second? And if you could just introduce or have them introduce themselves
Of
for the
course.
public?
I'm Dave Span. I'm with the Chautauqua County Soil and Water Conservation District.
Brian Storms, I'm the Corporate Environmental Health and Safety Manager with Jamestown Container Corporation.
Good, David. Thank you.
So as I mentioned, Brian and I got acquainted a few years ago when we were having an erosion problem that was threatening one of their facilities buildings. We worked collaboratively and got it resolved, and I think we saved everybody a lot of money in the long run by doing so. Recently, Brian came to me with an erosion problem on the Chattacoin River that's threatening Deming Drive. And I think if we fix it now, we'll save an awful lot of money by doing it as opposed to waiting. So Brian, if you could talk a little bit about what Jamestown Container does.
Sure. Jamestown Container is a local employer. It's been there since 1956, privately owned company. We employ 120 people in the area here, so 400 corporately. We've got locations from Cleveland to roughly Syracuse. I've been with the company now 35 years. And being there that long, I get involved in a lot of different projects, and it came to my attention that the river that we have a main access driveway that we use, and the Chattacoin River that is typically 60 plus feet away from our driveway is now suddenly 30 feet away from our driveway. This all happened in a very short period of time. Basically this spring, a bunch of trees and stuff went down. As you guys are familiar with the ash borer problem, it's dropping a lot of the ash trees into the river, which is then diverting the stream flow. And what it really did was it started eroding the bank away near our driveway, and a very large, I believe an oak tree came down and really diverted it badly. And we lost 30 feet of property right away. Now, this is not our property. It's the city of Village of Faulkner's property, but it's approaching our property. And it's going to take out our driveway. It's going to take out our power pole, which provides electric and utilities. And it's like, it's been pretty good through the summer because the lake is kept at a high level. And so the stream flow is very slow, but come up, it was October 20th, they're going to open it up and we're going to have a heavy flow. And that's when it all starts going, it just starts taking it away. So yeah, something needs to be done or else we're going to lose our driveway.
So in light of that, I approached the ARPA Review Committee several months ago and asked for $150,000 to fix it. And they promptly said no. And the reason was they wanted to make sure that the Village of Faulkner, the town of Ellicott, Jamestown Container all had skin in the game. So we went back to the chalkboard and come up with some ideas. And Dave, if you could explain how we're going to make this all work?
Sure. So I coordinated efforts from Chautauqua County DPF Village of Faulkner, Town of Ellicott, as far as the manpower to remove the snags or, which are very well embedded and established. And the snags are such that they're forcing the flow of the water towards the eroded bank. And it's not just a function of infrastructure being lost as much as a water quality issue, because when the water does rise, it's going to pump hundreds of tons of sediment down to Chattacoin. So as everything's coordinated, we started the permit process with DEC some weeks ago, not months, weeks, and there's a little holdup with some mussels that has landed on their map of rare and threatened and endangered species. So they want to do a mussel survey, which can be complicated, costly, and more so time consuming. And time is of the essence, because I feel that once the dam is released, the rate of erosion is going to be immediate, depending on what kind of rain events we get. So I'm going to be working with the county and DEC to see if we can get this expedited on emergency authorization. But with doing nothing is going to result in catastrophic failure of the bank and eventually Deming Drive. So it's definitely a worthwhile effort to try to get this repaired. The township and the county is going to do the work with the excavators and heavy equipment. What we're looking for is some money for rock riprap. The rock riprap is very large. On average, 2-ton pieces. They're big pieces of rock limestone that comes out of the quarry in Akron near Buffalo. And that's what's necessary because of the height of the bank, the depth of the stream at that point. It's going to require quite a lot of rock. So that's why we're here today, I think, is to try to figure out how logistically to get this done. So we're on our way, but it's definitely warranted.
So with that plan, we went back to the ARPA Review Committee with a revised proposal. We asked $40,000 for materials, and Jamestown Container was willing to contribute another $10,000. So we have $50,000 together for primarily rock, and the rest of the effort will be collaboration between the municipalities and the county. Okay. So now we're here today to seek your approval.
But I know there's been a lot of efforts at different parts of Chattacoin River, and has any of that affected or helped it at all, or is that not anywhere near where you are? I'm just curious, because I haven't been able to put together in my mind the different pieces of the river that have been worked on or cleaned up.
Well, the river's a mess for a lot of different reasons.
To begin with, yeah.
And one of the biggest contributing factor is the decline of the ash trees. They're very prevalent along the river banks. And if you drive down through Faulkner on the back streets along the river, you see hundreds of them that are dead, dying, and many of them have finally given up and have landed in the stream. And one of the other ARPA-funded projects that is ongoing at this point is emergency removal of some of these debris jams. And that's being managed by Chautauqua Watershed Conservancy. And we have done a little bit of work down in the Faulkner area along Wilson Street. But, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what we really need. So we're trying to go after the areas that have the most need. It's triage, if you will.
So to add to the question, most of the effort has been done upstream of this proposed site,
Closer to Jamestown, is that, yeah,
which has no impact downstream of what we're discussing.
okay.
Mr. Chairman, so Dave, these funds are for the riprap, okay. And it's all in-house between the county, Village of Faulkner, and the town of Ellicott using their equipment and shared services?
Yes, and, you know, I can't
Fantastic.
discount Soil and Water's effort there. They will put a lot of time into
Sure.
this by the time they have the permitting done.
Dave, you got anything?
No, I'm good.
Good. Sounds like a nice project. Sounds like everybody's coming together to
Oh,
benefit.
sure.
Yeah,
Help a local business,
Right.
help the environment.
Mhm.
It's all good.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Good collaboration.
Yes, very good. That's what I meant to say. All right, number 4. I'll read it as they come down. We're going to amend the 2023 budget for the feasibility study for the proposed Chautauqua County Water District using funding from the American Rescue Plan Act, better known as ARPA. Welcome. Wondering if you could just introduce yourselves and say where you're from and
I am Hart, Town of Chautauqua Supervisor.
I'm Robert Yates, the Supervisor for the Town of North Harmony. Thank you for listening to us this evening.
Eric Weiss, I'm a VP and project engineer with CPL.
okay, good.
Representing the town.
Good to have you here. So,
So
it's your show again.
the name of the resolution pretty much speaks to what we're trying to do. Having known Mr. Yates for many years, I've come to understand his municipality's needs for good water. Rob, could you elaborate on that?
Starting off, we're in process right now in Hamlet of Asheville and Asheville Bay. That at the present time is our highest concentration of contaminated water. I've had a lot of outreach in the last 4 years.
Thank
so
you.
We had to make a move to get going, so we, with the help of Eric Weiss, we have acquired a grant for $50,000 to get feasibility studies done, and we are in the petition process for those in Hamlet and Asheville Bay. I need to get that done as fast as I can. From there, heading northwest on the down the corridor of 394, there's a lot of water. A lot of our, we have 7.4 miles of lakefront, and a lot of the residents that lay on the lakes, wells are shallow. In the drought season, they go dry, they run out of water. In good water times, they're experiencing contamination as well. So when you have a whole bunch of sewers and a whole bunch of wells, and you have little 50-foot wide lots, 100-foot wide lots, you get a lot of contamination. As the growth of our town moves forward, because of infrastructure, fire repression is really, really important to get that up there along with the water. That's part of the deal.
Sure.
It's a big project. It's been needed done for 40 years. And, you know, with the help of the right people, we got the right people right now, and it's the time. So
Nice.
everybody's saddling up the bronc, if you will, and we're putting the spurs in it. We're trying to get her done. We need it. I mean, there's just no question about the need for water.
Don, could you tell folks why this is important to your town?
Same basic deal where we have a lot of lakefront properties from Magnolia to Chautauqua Shores. We also buy water at Chautauqua Shores from CUD. It's very expensive water. It would be better for us to get this through there. Once again, the shallow wells in the Magnolia area aren't really producing great water or even good water for that matter. A lot of people are using lake water to flush their toilets. It's a project that needs to be done. It really does. It will also give us another source of water for Chautauqua institutions should the lake go belly up on us someday. Although they deny they need it now. It's a really good project for us also.
So with the commonality of having several municipalities involved, forward comes the possibility of a county water district, which brings inherent efficiencies to everybody involved. One source of billing, one source of operators, maintenance, and all that. Clark Patterson Lee has quite a bit of experience with county districts and has been remarkably successful in helping us to find funding for our projects, particularly the west end phase two, fully funded, which is something that is just unheard of these days. How many $1 million was that?
20 plus.
24.
24 now.
Give or take.
So tell us a little bit about what you're proposing to do.
Yeah, so what I handed out was a couple maps. So this is really piggybacking off a study. Town of North Harmony received some funding from the state a few years ago to kind of look at big broad picture, what it would look like to extend public water along portions of Chautauqua Lake. The first map is really a big picture view, honestly, where it looks at, going around the entire lake. I just want to give you a kind of a scale of the study, kind of touch base on that aspect. The study looked at available sources, the potential, obviously the issues that we have, touch base on the issues that Mayville had with PFAS. The second map was really a more focused version that was really more part of the recommendation provided to the town and to the state. And this shows 3 phases. The town is already kind of progressing with what we call phase 1, which is the Asheville area. And really what these funds would be used for to advance phases 2 and 3 and proceeding into the town of Chautauqua. So much of a larger scale project, really, as the supervisor said, a project that really gets out of the realm of their expertise and manpower. And because this involves obviously multiple entities, including CUD, possibly Mayville, obviously supply from GPU, it warrants, in our opinion, a much bigger legislative body to help guide the process and search out the financing. So what the funds would be used for would be for kind of fine tuning what the district would look like, district boundary, district costs, complete the environmental review, and then ultimately do what was completed, trying to find the funding for the $24 million sewer project, try to find the funding from the state and federal level to advance the water project. And without the map plan report, without a district being formed, those steps are needed before we can really apply for the funding. And timing wise, you're looking at this time next year is when all these applications need to get submitted. So this is good timing for kind of kicking this off and hoping to advance this project.
So the plan is to buy water from Jamestown?
Yes.
So with that being said, we've had meetings. Eric's been privy to them, myself. They talked about, they're probably gonna have to put on more manpower, possibly another office space, but they're willing to comply. It's growth for everybody, and it's not a backroom. So it is doable. The BPU is behind us. The health department's behind us. So I think with your help,
We want to be behind you.
that would be good.
So you're looking to approve a feasibility study?
Really, I wouldn't call it a study. This is to advance the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally, I hate the word studies because they go on shelf and no one doesn't use them. This is to get the map plan report, to get the district formed, and to get the funding to get on the project. That's really what this is.
And that would make you eligible for the funding.
Yes.
And you see that as a collaboration between your folks, the state, the county, to put something together?
Yeah, both towns, yeah, potentially Mayville, potentially CUD, so.
Okay.
The town of Chautauqua also has Water District Number 5, which we are just now finishing our map plan and report on that, which is from Chautauqua Institution to Mayville. We are going to be able to hook to both ends, CUD and Mayville water. And we're also working on the other side of the lake, the Woodville to, the town line with Ellery to Chautauqua Lake Estates for Water District Number 2. So this is something that's really needed around the lake. The other piece that's going to be added to Water District is from Mayville to Chautauqua Lake Estates or to Woodville. So that will cover from the town line with Ellery to Mayville to Magnolia. And then you'll be able
Nice.
to interchange waters by valves and meters, which I think is a
Win-win, huh?
wise move with the population growth we're seeing along the lake.
I do have something to add, if I may.
Please.
Our town in North Army, when you're coming westbound on 86, we are basically the welcome to the lake. And the future of the development of the town, we have just finished our revision of our comprehensive plan, because our comprehensive plan was made 15, 16 years ago, and it did not include infrastructure. Now it does. So this is a big piece, and I normally don't like to talk about the possibility of money coming in, not only for the town, but for the county and for the state. But there is a lot of interest on the table right now that folks are realizing that, the horse is galloping now. She's out of the barn, we're moving. So the town of North Harmony will grow, and it will grow guided, it will grow in the right direction. We're planning on the hamlet of Stowe being more of a walking community, if you will. And the amount of people that have asked about motels and restaurants, because we do have some rather large C1 districts, commercial districts in the town. And everybody's just kind of waiting and hanging on. So it will be a good growth, and financially it'll help the county, the town, and the state for sure. So it's a win-win all the way around.
Invariably, when municipal water and sewer comes to a community, there's a little bit of pain up front. But almost invariably, people's quality of life go up. They're drinking better water. Their property values go up, which puts all of us in a revenue positive situation. Of course, the district will support itself through user fees, but we'll see returns through higher property values and increased revenues.
So as part of the water and sewer project, Pierre, thank you, Eric, everybody involved. When I took my office, it was to help the community. Health and safety are number one in my book. I'm not really a good politician, I kind of tell it like it is. But health and safety is very, very important, and that's really number one. And that's truly what this is about. This isn't about personal gain, it's not about financial gain. It's about taking care of our community.
Nice.
Mr. Chairman, BPU will be the water supplier for this loop right around the whole lake, correct? The growth? I mean, that's the long-term
be.
vision?
Well, maybe.
Well,
Could be.
Actually,
we're gonna get it up to Dawn and then into Dawn's flats, and then where his water is, but we want to build capacity to encompass more when needed. You're all aware of what happened with the contamination of the wells up here.
Sure.
And all that kind of thing. And the institution, right now, they don't really care to play ball with us, and that's fine. We don't really need the institution. But you watch, as soon as we get water line coming up, they're gonna be on our tail feathers.
Is it, you folks are all over this as long as the BPU has a vision and long-term planning? Sounds great.
Actually, on the Hartfield Woodville side of the lake, we have two very nice water sources. And that will supply that side. They will not be BPU water at this time. It'll be well water.
So one consideration when moving forward is that you can't mix well water with basically city water. They can't mix. So that's where that's kind of a little bit of a challenge.
Well, you can, but it would, with proper departmental testing. You have to go through the process. But it is.
He knows more about that.
Also well water and lake water. don't
It
they?
is, yeah. Lake water, and well water. Mr. Chairman, do you have anything to add?
No, I appreciate all of the perspectives that were added here today. I just was another cog in the gear to bring this forward. appreciate Eric's willingness to put together a proposal for a map and plan that is responsive to the needs of the towns. So I was kind of the intermediary because I represent the town of North Harmony as a legislator.
He always seems to be the cog. in Nice projects.
I like how you said too about, I mean, it's very forward thinking to think, if we had this in place versus if there was a problem with the lake ever, we've got something else that we can look to. And I think you want to put something like that in place before there's an emergency. So.
We kind of learned that with the PFAS in Mayville. We really need a second source that you can turn on. If you have 2 wells contaminated in Mayville, you got a real emergency. And if you can get an outside source to feed that quickly, your emergency definitely declines quite a bit.
So your failure to plan is planning to fail.
Pierre, this would be a county water district.
That's what this would be, yes. And for perspective, the town of North Harmony has been begging for help for a long time. But because it was just in the town, there's no way the county could step in and create a district just within the town. State law allows the county to create a district if it's in 2 townships or more. So once we envision the possibility of progressing water through the town of North Harmony into the town of Chautauqua and open up the possibility of a county district.
So Pierre, is it wise for us to stay in bed with Jamestown's water, or should we look even farther ahead and make our own water for the district?
Water supply is the key. Jamestown BPU has ample water supply. So
Yes.
they have a very reliable groundwater supply.
You feel comfortable with that, buying it from Jamestown? Okay.
So years back, we had another engineering firm do a feasibility study for producing our own water in the town of North Harmony. The cost was exponential. And it's my intention that I would sooner turn on the faucet and pay a nickel than have to have a whole water department and everything that goes along with it. And developing our own wells, it's not feasible.
Okay.
This section of the lake on the west side is rather dry. The wells aren't really good producers. They're mediocre at best. Chautauqua Shores, we went in there and put in a water district about 2010. Those wells were shot. They were producing yellow water, orange water.
A lot of
We had
sulfur and
to
water.
go in and do it.
Excuse me, Don, where are those wells for Chautauqua Shores?
Chautauqua Shores uses CUD water.
Okay.
And we buy it from Chautauqua Utility District.
Okay, everybody? Dave, that was pretty much what you wanted to hear, representing the city of Jamestown.
Yes, I did. No. Yeah.
Okay, great. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Very enlightening.
Thank you, folks. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Do I hear does anybody have an other? Nope. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'd love to keep this, man. Could I? Okay. I can
Nice
pass
job.
it around. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming up.
Best news right there, right there. Fantastic. You're working together. BPU's on board. You got our water.
Does this take water right up to, like Hadley Bay up there? And
Okay.
Get all the way around the lake.
We're gonna
And I said it to, yeah, I said, would you send this to James?